Hi, good morning. Got something a little bit off tangent today. As you can see, I'm holding two parcels here. Now, in a previous video, I have done a blind date with a book. I always get it wrong way around, so I have to slow when I say that. And it's been gifts, or I've bought as gifts, or I bought myself one as a treat. Most of them have been off Etsy, and they've all been wonderful. You sort of get a book that's all wrapped up nicely, and there's usually things like sachets of hot chocolates or coffees and biscuits and treats, and they're really nice. And if you're careful, some of them are not a bad price either, and some of them on Etsy do actually do pre-loved books. So they're good condition, but they have been read before, which is a great way of recycling. This is even a better way, and also it supports charity. This is our local hospice shop. Well, it's not the localist. We do have one a little bit nearer, but this is the big one. They've got a big one, and it's lovely. They've got a cafe in there. They've got new and second-hand things. And it was just a joy. We went in because my daughter had seen these and bought one herself because she knew I liked them. So she told me, and I thought, right, we're going to go down and have a look. So I picked these two up. It looks like they've gone quite popular because there was quite a few of them gone. Now, I know obviously the treats are not quite that you get on an Etsy site, but there are some little treats in there as well. So it's still lovely, still a surprise. And I don't know what the books are. They do put the titles. Now, this one just says fantasy. And as you can see, I paid £2 for these books, £2 each. That one says fantasy novel. That one just says fantasy. There was options like crime and thriller and things like that. So there's different types of books you can choose. But what a fabulous way to recycle their donated books. It probably encourages people to buy the books more, because normally they might go, oh yeah, there's books, but I can't be bothered to look through them all. But this is like a surprise, and we all love a mystery or a surprise, don't we? It's like a little gift, a little treat, things like that. As I say, this is the Rotherham Hospice, and it was at the Parkgate Shopping Centre, where they've got this massive sort of charity shop. It is a charity shop, but it does have new things in it as well, and it's got a great cafe. We went in, had a cup of coffee and a scone, which was lovely. So it's a really nice place to pop into. I think probably this is the way some charity shops here in the UK are going to be moving forward. But this is something even the tiniest of charity shops could do. It's just a little bit of wrapping paper, a few treats, which if they sort of think about it, or maybe they can convince a local supermarket to donate a few things, something like that, they can put them together, and they'd probably get more for the books. I mean, they said these were £2. I don't know, some of them, I know you can get a book for 50p, things like that, but £2 is still great. It's still a bit of fun, and I just love the idea, and I wanted to share it with you, and I hope other charity shops do this as well. And we're going to open them, because I don't know what I've got, apart from it's fantasy and fantasy novel. Two different sizes, so I made sure of that because I didn't want to get the same book. But I suppose the risk of getting the same book is really, really rare in a charity shop, because they're donated books. They're not going to have 10 of the same book donated, are they? So we're going to go top down and have a look what books I've got. Let me know if your charity shops do this. Let me know if perhaps you want to suggest that your charity shops do this. I mean, I might actually mention it to the ones we've got locally, because I know it's a little bit time consuming, but they get a little bit more for the charity, and maybe it will encourage people to go into the shop as well to pick one of these up. So let's go top down, and I'm quite excited to see what's in these. Although my book collection of books I've been buying recently is getting bigger and bigger, and I know I'm going to the hospital soon, so fair enough, I can take a book with me, but I've got an awful lot of books. I think they're probably going to last me and sometime into early next year. So anyway, let's get top down and see what I've got in here. So let's have a look what we have in our little books here. So it says something rather nice. Nice one. I've not even noticed that, because obviously we're in Rotherham. So it's something rather nice. Love that. And it says, I heart Rotherham Hospice. Like I said, we've got a small Rotherham Hospice here. There's another one maybe 10 minutes away, and then this big one's a good like 15 minutes or so to go to. But it's really nice, a nice little shopping centre as well, so there's lots of other things you can look at. Fantasy, I don't know, is there something at the end? Oh, this is a little heart, I don't know, it says fantasy anyway. And it said £2. Same for this one, fantasy, £2. And I know from what my daughter had, there's something, I suspect it's going to be something like a coffee sachet or a little biscuit, something like that. But it's just nice to get, isn't it? They're nicely wrapped. Obviously it's advertising them as well, which is always good. I know I mentioned about the cafe, but it was really nice. Really impressed with it. know, I'm a big baby where paper's concerned. It just gets ripped. Oh, we can already see we have, I love those biscuits. Have you eaten those biscuits? I think they're gorgeous. They've got sort of like a caramelly sort of flavour to them as well. So they're really nice to have with a cup of coffee. And oh, it's a hardback. Nice one. What have I got here? A Nescafe. I love my cup of coffee. So that's great. Oh, look at this. I am delighted. It's Peter Pan. I love a hardback book, and look at the quality of this book. I mean, this has been loved. I think a lot of people have a tendency to collect these books. I know I'm a bit of a so-and-so for it myself, but then I never read them because they look too nice on the shelf. So you can see, I don't know whether sometimes people put names in books, don't they? I'm just seeing if there is anything. Nope, there's nothing there. That is, it's immaculate. That is so, so nice. That is going to definitely be sitting on my bookcase with sort of the ones that I've got, like these. They class them as, was it cloth bound? I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a fabric. I don't know how it's made. But I just think they are gorgeous. And I just love look at this. We've got a Tinkerbell. We've got the boats. It's just a really, really nice book. So that, and my little treat, is perfect. 100% worth £2. So let's see what else we've got in here. I suspect the gifts are going to be similar because I think my daughter's was that, but that's fine. That's fine. Straight in with the nail. Right, what we got here? We have another sachet, but that's okay because I love a cup of coffee and my husband does as well. So I might share half of this with him because he was with me when we bought it. And this is our fantasy novel. I suppose that's just Is it a novel? It is a novel, but it's a classic, isn't it, this one? Whereas this is like a modern novel, I think. And I've no idea what it was. Let's have a turn it over a second. What we got? The Lie Tree. Winner of the Costa Book Award, Frances Hardinge. The Tree of Lies, now it was hers, and the journey stretched out before her. So what have we got here? It was enough, all knowledge, any knowledge, poisonous pleasure in stealing it. Ooh, we have a mystery fantasy. I love it. I deliberately picked the fantasy ones. I like any books. To be honest, I will read anything from the classics up to just modern. I can't describe the word. What's it called? You know, books that are real easy reads, you know, a bit of fun, even sort of down to sort of that tween sort of age books. I mean, obviously things like Harry Potter and that are in that category. So I will read anything from Victorian verse right up to, I love the cozy books. I've got quite a few of those because they're great. As I say, when I go into hospital, they're the perfect sort because you can relax. I'm also reading a Stephen King at the moment. So yeah, anything horror. I just like reading. It's as simple as that. But I do like getting into this sort of book because there's a bit of escapism, isn't it? And there's always a mystery, but then there's always sort of some sort of relationship, and somebody falls in love with somebody and things like that. So I love doing it, and it's sometimes the fantasy ones are set in the fantasy, aren't they? They're set in places that are not real, so to speak. That was a really bad way of saying it. But how good is that? How wonderful is that? So that is, the books will have been donated. Not sure how they got these, although as I said, this one does have a cafe. As I keep saying, it's got a cafe. It's really good. That's why. Really nice. I suppose perhaps these are bought when they do the cafe, so they're buying in bulk or they're getting it donated in bulk so they can pop them with the books. But yeah, it's a great way to sort of shift the books because perhaps sometimes it's not something that moves as fast in the shop, so they might have like too much to do. So somebody had a great idea, and I think they've done really well, and I hope they continue to do it. We don't go down to that area very often, but we'll go down, I don't know, maybe once a month, something like that, because they've got a range down there as well, which I like. So yeah, possibly. So I'm going to check them out next time to see if they've got them in, because I am over the moon with this. That is gorgeous. That is definitely a sit on the bookshelf and look pretty book. And that one, if I get this Stephen King one ever read, I'm reading Stephen King's Under the Dome, and well, it's actually my son's girlfriend that has lent it me because I watched the TV show and I said I wanted to read it, and she said she got it. This book is like this. It is going to take me forever to read it, but I wanted something light reading. But I mean, I'm only going in for day surgery, but it's the wait-in time and things like that. So I wanted something light to read. So it could be this one, although I've still got one inside the crochet book cover I did. So it could be that one because I've not finished that. As I say, I think I've just gone a bit obsessed with going for books again. I did a lot of books to start with, then I had a Kindle for years, so I didn't buy any. There's something like 200 plus books on my Kindle. But then I miss this. I miss this holding the book. And if you can get them secondhand or recycled, I've bought a lot of books from that World of Books. Sometimes they're new, sometimes they are pre-owned. But if we can recycle them around, everybody, I think it's a great way to do it. So, super pleased. Hope you enjoyed that. As I say, let me know if you know of this happening in any of yours, or as perhaps you could suggest, if you know somebody who works in a charity shop or something, maybe suggest it, because I think it's a really good promotion. So that's it. Super quick video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please come and have a chat. If you enjoy the videos, you know what to do. Please like, subscribe and chat, and I will see you all very soon. Bye bye for now.